Hey everybody, and welcome to the TGIF edition of Weather for Weather Geeks here on the 27th day of June. Only a few days left in the month. It's been a hot and stormy month across most of eastern Ohio and western Pennsylvania. No shortage of hot weather, of course, especially this week. And especially this week, no shortage of thunderstorms rumbling on through. Now, before we had a line of showers and storms that moved through this afternoon, the heat index and, well, the air temperatures did spike once again. Our heat index officially at the airport reached the mid-90s before the thunderstorms rolled through, and yeah, the heat index then was in the lower 70s because the air temperature crashed into the lower 70s with that rain-cooled air and some residual clouds around after that point. The rainfall today a little more uniform in terms of the amounts than some of the hit-or-miss activity we've had over the last few days. This is more of an organized line that moved through around mid-afternoon, and so therefore, the rainfall totals, while there is some variety here, there aren't as many, crazy amounts over a couple of inches compared to a lot of places getting nothing. Most of us saw at least some rain from that mid-afternoon line of showers and storms earlier on today. A few isolated reports of wind damage today, especially near the state line between Trumbull and Mercer counties. And heading over towards northeastern parts of Lawrence County, we did have a couple of comments on some social media sites earlier on today of some isolated reports of tree damage earlier on today. The radar as of this recording is quiet, 7:14 p.m. Zooming out and taking a look at the region as a whole, I'm not going to be able to rule out a shower this evening. This line of thunderstorms has a warning on it right now down towards Uricksville and Dover and New Philly and Tuscarawas County. That's going to be more aimed at Jefferson County, Carroll County, Harrison County, heading over towards maybe Toronto, maybe the Steubenville area. Can't rule out maybe a little bit of that tries to clip maybe East Liverpool at the farthest north, but most of us will miss out on that, and most of us should be primarily dry this evening, even into the overnight tonight. Not expecting a lot of chances for some wet weather. Much like the last few nights, just another Florida-like night out there tonight with dew points like this: 71 in Youngstown, 67 Columbus, 72 our dew point in Morgantown, West Virginia. The lower dew point air, is lurking off to the north and west, and this is kind of what is coming our way about this time tomorrow evening. Not a huge drop, but I think by Saturday evening the dew points are going to try to drop from the upper 60s and lower 70s to more like the mid 60s. It's not a big change. It's not the kind of autumnal cold front that we're going to have with more and more frequency in a few months, but I think we've got a really comfortable, comparatively speaking, Saturday evening on the way, and overnight temperatures Saturday night then will be allowed to drop into the lower 60s. Now, this front that's heading our way on Saturday, will it rain with this front? That is the million-dollar question. The answer is, in most places, probably not, but we are going to allow for the chance of a shower or a thunderstorm with this front. I suspect the best chance is right around midday. Check out the hourly forecasts for your location on the Storm Tracker 21 app. The better chance of more organized showers and storms with this is probably closer to I-70 in the afternoon and early in the evening. So Pittsburgh, Wheeling, Zanesville, Cambridge, places like that probably have a better chance of seeing an afternoon thunderstorm than areas as far north as our TV viewing area. That being said, I don't want to rule it out. There's certainly that chance, especially right around midday, but a lot of us will miss out on that. A great evening, a great night, Saturday night, and actually a very pleasant, albeit warm, second half of the weekend on Sunday. We're looking for sunshine in abundance, maybe a little fog early. We should stay dry Sunday night and into maybe early in the day Monday, but from midday into the afternoon Monday, we get back into the kind of pattern we've been in over the last few days. It's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. There'll be some thunderstorms around. There's even going to be a risk of, a couple of heavier storms Monday and into early Monday night. So the weekend forecast, 84 Saturday and 88 on Sunday. The dew points go back up Sunday after retreating a little bit late Saturday night. So the heat index Sunday afternoon probably mostly in the low 90s, something like 91, 92. Not as high as it has been with frequency this week, but still, find the pool if you can on Sunday. Flash flood risk and overall severe weather risk may be somewhat elevated Monday. That front heads off to the east on Tuesday. There may be a lingering raindrop or two Tuesday morning, but I suspect the afternoon features a drying trend and dew points will start backing off, setting the stage for what looks like a pretty nice stretch of weather next week. Wednesday into Thursday, look at the really tropical air mass finally being replaced by just kind of more typical early July temperatures and dew points. We're not going to see those dew points crashing into the 40s or anything like that, but a dew point of 58, 59, 60, that to the average person is much more comfortable and tolerable than a dew point that's 7 or 8 or 9 degrees higher than that. So, yeah, I think we've got a couple of really nice days coming Tuesday afternoon into Wednesday. Maybe with a secondary front, there's a shower or a thunderstorm Thursday, but this is a look at the modeling for next Friday, which is the 4th of July, and I'm pretty impressed with the way the modeling looks for the holiday right now. This particular model, this is the European model actually, this particular model has a pretty decent surge of low dew point air and actually cooler temperatures. Now, that's a little bit of an outlier right now in terms of the temperatures, but taken literally, the European model would suggest maybe we don't get out of the low 70s on the 4th of July. Now, I don't believe that right now. I think that is an outlier, but I do think it will be a pretty nice stretch of weather during the second half of next week. And any cool downs will be brief over the next handful of weeks. This is going to end up being a pretty hot summer compared to the average, at least through July. June's going to go to the record books as a few degrees warmer than average. Looking at the longer range forecast from the Climate Prediction Center today, here's the 8 to 14 day outlook, weeks 3 and 4, heading deeper into July. You just don't see a lot of chances for cooler than average outcomes, not only locally, but in most of the country. And also you'll notice that the chances remain elevated of wetter than average conditions. This is not going to be a summer in which a lot of places are going to try to slip into a drought like we had last summer and early last fall. That just does not look to be in the cards this time around. Is it going to be as active as June has been? Maybe, maybe not. That's an open question right now. We'll take a look at the longer range forecasts early next week on weather for Weather Geeks, meaning the entire month of July. We'll kind of do a July forecast early next week. I doubt July is as active as June, but still, I don't see a lot of prolonged stretches of dryness anytime real soon, at least according to the current medium and long range modeling. Hope you and yours have a great weekend, everyone. Thanks for watching Weather for Weather Geeks tonight and all week long. It's been a busy week in the weather office. I'll see you right back here on Monday for the final edition of this video for the month of June.